Hi there, my name is Isaac. I am a Shopify developer sharing with you what I learned working with agencies and merchants in the Shopify space. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you how to implement a version of Shopify combined listings on your non-Plus Shopify store. I wanted to make this video because Shopify combined listings is currently only available for Shopify Plus merchants. And many of the clients that I work with are not Plus merchants, but they really want this kind of a feature. In the previous video, I shared about how to implement this feature on specific paid Shopify themes that have a specific feature called product siblings. And this mimics what Shopify combined listings does. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to implement this feature on any Shopify store, any theme, free or paid. So this solution does require some custom code. So you should be comfortable working with the code in your store and making a copy of your live theme and working in a development theme so that you don't mess up anything that's going on in the main live theme. This is a feature that many of my clients have requested, and I wanted to show you a couple of examples of this in the real world with some of the clients that I've worked with to give you a sense of why this is useful. So the first example I wanted to share with you is this website, Alice by Alice McCall. And you can see that there are different dresses with different colors. And if I click into one of these dresses, I can see, okay, there's different options here. There's color lavender and color white. And if I go back to the collection page for dresses, I can also see those options laid out on the page. Now, here's another example where this website has these different seltzer drinks. And if I click into one of the products here, I can see all these different options that I can click onto. They're all appearing on this product page, but then they also appear in the collection page as well so that we can see all the products listed here. With that being said, I want to share with you the demo that we're going to be creating today. And you can see in this example, Sports Tee Swatch is native. This is kind of like the default way that Shopify organizes variants. So I've created 3 different variants of this t-shirt, and they show up here in the variant section. But when I go back to the collection page, these variants are not showing up. I'll talk about these products that are separate in a moment, but I can't see the different colors here. I can only see this red color, and then once I click into this product, now I can see these other colors. So the demo that we're going to be working on today is creating this same version of how it's implemented on these websites, where we have these 3 different colors options all available to see within this collection. And if I click into one of these t-shirts, now I have the ability to swap in between these different products, and they're going to show up on the collection page, but also the product page. So how does this function on the back end? Well, in the customizer, essentially what we're creating is this new product block called Product Grouping Picker. And this is going to be what all of our custom code is going to create. And this is going to allow us to have a number of different options here to change and customize how this is going to look and function. And I'll get into that in the rest of the video, but for now, this is kind of the overview of the demo of how this is all going to work. And then the rest of the video is going to be the technical solution, how to actually implement this on your store. And for that, I'm going to be following this guide here. And this is created by The Prompted, and they have helped tremendously with this solution. So mostly I'm going to be following their guide and implementing it to demonstrate how this could work. So you can follow along, and I'll link these guides as well. But it's really going to be from here on out following this guide and using my example store as a demo to follow this guide. And actually, there is a prerequisite before we even go into creating these combined separate products together as variant options. So we're going to go into this prerequisite guide first, and we're going to follow this guide. So we're going to start here, and we're going to just follow the directions step by step, and let's do it. Okay, so to start, we're going to take this example product here, sports tee, And I'm going to assume that your product already has variants, some number of variants. So for this product, we have 3 variants: red, orange, and pink. And what we're going to do is we're going to create 3 new separate products that are splitting these variants out into separate products. So you can just duplicate this product, and you can do that 3 times and rename each product to be, sports tee red, sports tee orange, sports tee pink. So once you've done that, you can go back to your products, and I'll show you, this is how I have it set up. So here's sports tee red with just the red shirt and a description that just matches that one. And there's only going to be the size variants here, no color variants. So go ahead and create those 3 products, or however many products make sense for your store, until you have them here listed. I have sports tee-red, sports tee-pink, sports tee-orange. Okay, the next step is to duplicate your theme and name it something that makes sense for this feature. You can click these 3 dots and click duplicate. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to be showing you all the customizations that I've already made here, but you can see I was working on some duplicate themes down here. At the time of this recording, I am using Dawn version 15.3.0 for this customization, and I know that this customization works with this version of Dawn. And according to the guide that we're going to be following, this customization should work on all free Shopify themes, and by association, it should work on all paid Shopify themes as well. We're going to be following this tutorial by The Prompted, and this is going to be our guide for implementing this feature. And you can notice the first thing that we see is that there is a prerequisite guide, and that is so we can add this product swatch customization. So when I click into this and I read it down here, we see that this is actually for version 14 themes, and we're using version 15 themes, so we want to make sure we go to this tutorial that says add swatches version 4, Dawn version 15 compatible. So we're going to be following this guide first thing, and this is going to, what we're going to be doing in this guide is essentially creating these custom swatches that will allow us to have this feature. And to show you this feature, I moved my face over here so that I can show you in the customizer here, this product grouping picker. So this first part of the video, we are just going to be covering custom swatch. We're going to be creating this section of this product grouping picker, and then the second tutorial, we will be creating the entire product grouping picker, which uses this custom swatch that we're making now. Because we're building this feature in pieces, this first piece and this first guide that we're covering is going to be directed towards creating these swatches as variants. And I'm using this product, this sports tee swatches custom product, as an example. And if I go into the variant picker here, this is the customization that we're going to be working on creating. Jumping into the guide here, the first step is to upload swatch image files, meaning the actual images that you want to use for these products, you can upload them. If you want to just use the images that are default part of your product pages, then you don't need to do this. So just for simplicity, we're not going to upload any specific files for these because the swatch images will get taken from the product images that are already existing. The next step is to create meta objects and meta fields. And first, we're going to create a meta object called variant swatch map. And what this is going to do is it's going to tell the product page which swatch to show for which product variant. From your store, go to settings and then custom data and scroll down here to meta object definitions. You're going to add a definition. I'm not going to add a new one because I already have it here. I'm going to go to variant swatch map. So add the definition, name it variant swatch map. The first field is going to be a title, and this is going to be the regular expression. This is just to specify the pattern that the values must match. And then the next field that you're going to create is going to be a JSON field. And when I format the JSON, this is what it looks like. Just copy and paste this code from here and paste it into the JSON schema. Hit done. Now we're going to add an entry. So you're going to go ahead and click add entry. I already added this, so I'm just going to view it. Ignore this second entry for now. We're going to cover this later in the video. we're just going to create a variant swatch mapping entry for now. And the format of this JSON, the reason that I have it formatted this way, the variant name is going to be color, and that's the same for all of the variants. And then the variant value is going to be the color of that variant. And the variant swatch, we're just going to keep it blank for now. If you have a specific image that you want to use that's separate than the product image, you can upload that to your files and then have the link to that right here, but we're not going to be doing that. So I'm going to save that. Next, we're going to be creating a meta field that is going to be a variant swatch map override. I'll talk about what this means in a second, but go ahead and go to your settings, custom data, and meta field definitions products. Go ahead and add a definition. I've already added this. It is called variant swatch map override. That's what you'll name it. And then it's going to be a meta object, and the reference is going to be the variant swatch map. And go ahead and save that. So the reason for this variant swatch map override meta field is that if you have other products that have different swatch mapping, you can create that swatch mapping and override the default one that we just set up. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to create this custom swatch part of the variant picker. And there's going to be the schema settings that will allow this to show up. Okay, now it's time to customize the store code. So we are going to, first of all, just copy this code right here. And then we're going to go into the code. So click edit code. And like I said, make sure you're editing. I'm on the live theme right now, which you should not be. You should be on a development theme. But I've already added all these customizations, so I'm just going to go over them and you can be adding them as I go. So in the main product.liquid schema file, we're gonna go there first. Main product.liquid is right here. Find the variant picker block. Within this block, you're gonna scroll down, and underneath this, this part here, within the settings, we're going to copy and paste in that code that we just got from over here. And this is going to be pasted right here under the under where this comma ends, this swatch shape section. It's going to be pasted right below that. So it's going to be right here, and now this is going to be part of this variant picker block. And once you paste that in, you can save it, and you can refresh your theme, and you can see that these settings should now be showing up. They're not going to be functional, but they'll be showing up. Okay, so now we're going to go to the product variant picker.liquid file. So do a search for that file, pull it up, and then search within that file this code here that says for option and product.options with values. And then paste this if statement right below it, if block.settings.swatch shape custom equals none. Paste that right below here, and then you're going to keep this existing code here, this field set code. And then below that, you're going to paste the rest, else the rest of this code all the way down here. That's going to go right down here. Next up, we're going to create a liquid snippet called product variant swatch custom.liquid. So go over to your code, and under snippets, click add a new snippet. And the one that we're creating has already been created for me. It's this one. But you're just literally going to copy and paste this in there and save. And the next part, we're going to create an asset component product variant swatch custom.css. So go ahead and copy this code and go to your assets and create a new asset, and it's going to be a blank file. It's going to be a CSS extension, and it's going to be this one that I've already created here, component product variant picker.css. Copy and paste that code and save. Next, you're going to go to the file productinfo.js. So go ahead and search for that file and pull it up. I have it pulled up right here. And then you're going to search for this method, connected callback. So do a search for it to find it, and it's right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy this call to this new method that we're going to create, this.initialize custom swatches. We're going to paste it at the end of this method, connected callback, so it's going to get pasted right here. And then after this definition of this method, we're going to define a new method called initialize custom swatches. The code for that is right here. It's going to be two methods, initialize custom swatches and handle swatch change event. So go ahead and paste that. Code is going to be right here and save. And that is going to be it for this first guide. And the way you can double check that this is all working is you can go into your customizer and open up the product that has these variants. And you're going to make sure that that product is selected here in the preview. They go to the variant picker and you should see this custom swatch section down here. And when I click square, we should see these go into square mode. And when I click none, they should be pills. And you can change the swatch size to make it bigger or smaller. So everything is functioning as it should. Now that we've created this swatches feature, we can move on to this second guide where we're going to be combining separate products together as variant options. Before we get into it, I'm going to show you what this is all going to look like when we're all said and done. So in the product template, we're going to create this new block called the product grouping picker. And within this block, we're going to create all these new settings, and this custom swatch is going to be part of the code that we just created in the last guide. First step in this guide is to create a meta object, and we're going to call it something different than this one. We're going to call it product grouping color option entries. So create a new definition, and I've already done this, so I'm just going to open it up. The first field is going to be a name with single line text, and you can just call it grouping name. And the second field is going to be a product grouping, which is a product. And it's going to be a list of products. So make sure you select list of products. And then once that has been created, we are going to go into the meta fields for the products. And we're going to add a new definition, and it's going to be called, they call it product grouping option 1. We're calling it the color option. And it's going to be a meta object, and the reference is going to be the product grouping color option entries. So go ahead and create that. And then we're going to create another product meta field with type single line text. And the name of that is going to be product grouping color option value. So that's going to be single line text, one value. Go ahead and create that. Next, we're going to create a new meta object entry. So go to the product grouping color option entries and add a new entry. This is the one that I just created for this video. I'm calling it sports tee, and then I'm going to select all the products that are going to be a part of this entry. The next part is we're going to create a new JSON reference. So go back to your meta objects, and in the variant swatch map, create a new entry. And I called this one products as variance swatch mapping. And the variant value is going to be the same as the group name. So sports tee in my case is going to be the same name. And then the variant name is going to be the different colors. Now we're going to go back into the theme code, and we're going to create a new snippet called product grouping picker custom. That's going to be that custom picker that is part of the a new product block that we're creating, this one right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to click add new snippet, and you're going to name it product grouping picker custom, and go ahead and paste all of this code that's right here right into there and save. Now go into the main product.liquid file and go ahead and copy this code before you go there. And you're going to search for the when variant picker block. So once you find that, right below these two lines of code, you can go ahead and paste this new code, when product grouping picker. And this is going to allow this new option to show up here when you want to add a block. Okay, now we're going to add these block options to the settings schema. So go ahead and copy this code and we're going to search for, we're going to paste this code right above the variant picker. So do a search for variant picker, and we see that this part come up right here. And right above, you're going to paste the code right above the variant picker. And this is going to be the code for the product grouping picker. It's going to go right here, and go ahead and hit save. Okay, the next step is going to be going to each of the 3 products that we created and adding the correct meta fields. So for the product grouping option color value, that's going to be the color of the variant. So this is pink. And then for the product grouping color option, you're going to select the product grouping color option entries, sports tee, or whatever entry you created in your case. This is the grouping of that of these products. And then lastly, the variant swatch map override, you're going to select the variant swatch mapping that we created as an override for this. And then make sure you do the same thing for the other products in this collection, orange and red in my case. And once you add all those meta fields, you can go back to your customizer and make sure to add a new block and add the product grouping picker block, and you can drag it right underneath the variant picker. And this block is now pretty much set up. The last thing you have to do is make sure to change this default variant swatch map meta object value to the new mapping that we set up, and everything should be functioning as normal. When you change the swatch type, it should all function. However, the one thing that's not working with this customization that I noticed that you should look out for is if you just want the pills option, it's not functioning for some reason in that way. So that's just an issue, a bug that this solution has. And the other thing I noticed is that you'll notice these swatches are not centered, and that's because these product images are not square, which is another glitch. So if you want them to be centered, you just have to make sure that the product images are square. And if they're not, if you go to the swatch mapping, so if you remember going to the meta fields, variant swatch map, view entries, variant product, here's our entry. You would just add the URL to those square images here, and that should fix that problem. And that's it. Make sure your demo is functioning properly, and if you click on the different swatches, we get the different products, and we're all finished. And there you go. The customization is complete. I hope that was easy to follow. I know there's a lot of moving pieces and parts, and so if you miss something or the code is broken or not working, make sure you go back through the guides that I shared and double check that everything's functioning. It could just be that the code becomes out of date in the future, and if that's the case, feel free to comment. Feel free to direct message me. I hope this was super helpful, and best of luck with your customization ventures.